Over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to reveal 15 ice cream brands linked to serious contamination concerns that most shoppers have no idea about. You'll learn exactly which nostalgic favorites and trendy newcomers appeared on FDA recall lists for dangerous bacterial contamination. And more importantly, I'll show you the 5 brands that actually deliver pure, simple ingredients you can trust. Stick around until the end because the #1 safest choice will completely transform the way you think about ice cream quality. Let's start with what might be sitting in your freezer right now. 15. Friendly's starting at number 15. Friendly's carries decades of American nostalgia. Many of us remember birthday parties at Friendly's restaurants, the cheerful red booths, and those famous ice cream sundaes that made childhood special. That emotional connection makes this news particularly difficult to share. In June 2024, Friendly's products appeared on the FDA's official recall table due to possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination. This recall affected multiple ice cream products manufactured by Totally Cool Incoworm, the facility that produces Friendly's frozen treats. Listeria is particularly dangerous because it can survive and even grow in freezer temperatures where most bacteria cannot. For older adults, this matters enormously because our immune systems naturally weaken with age, making us more vulnerable to serious infections that younger people might fight off more easily. The FDA documented this contamination risk across numerous Friendly's products, trusted family brand into a potential health hazard. That container of fudge ripple or mint chocolate chips sitting in your freezer right now might carry risks that the cheerful packaging never hints at. 14. Abelin's Frozen Bakery. At number 14, Abelin's Frozen Bakery represents the kind of small batch, artisanal producer that many health-conscious shoppers specifically seek out, believing smaller operations mean better quality control. Unfortunately, size doesn't guarantee safety. Abelin's products also appeared on the June 2024 FDA recall table for possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination, part of the same Totally Cool Incoworm facility issue affecting multiple brands. When you're choosing specialty frozen desserts expecting premium quality and careful production standards, discovering they share contamination risks with mass-market brands feels like a betrayal of trust. For those of us managing health conditions or taking medications that suppress immune function, Listeria exposure can lead to severe illness requiring hospitalization. The bacteria causes symptoms ranging from fever and muscle aches to serious complications affecting the nervous system. Abelin's appeared to offer the artisanal quality we're willing to pay extra for, yet ended up on the same FDA warning list as much larger commercial operations. 13. Hershey's Ice Cream. At number 13, Hershey's Ice Cream trades on one of America's most beloved chocolate brands, creating an immediate halo of trust and familiarity. When you see that Hershey's name, your mind connects it to decades of chocolate bars, kisses, and sweet memories. However, Hershey's ice cream products joined the June 2024 FDA recall list for possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination through the Totally Cool Incoworm manufacturing facility. This brand particularly affects older adults who grew up with Hershey's chocolate as a staple treat, automatically extending that trust to ice cream products bearing the same name. Contamination risk applies across multiple Hershey's ice cream varieties, meaning that familiar brown and silver packaging might be hiding serious health hazards. Listeria infections become significantly more dangerous for adults over 60, pregnant women, and anyone with compromised immunity from conditions like diabetes or cancer treatment. The FDA documented this contamination concern specifically because Listeria can cause severe illness and even death in vulnerable populations, making this recall particularly serious for the demographic most likely to trust and purchase Hershey's branded products. 12. Yellow. Moving to number 12, Yellow represents modern convenience culture with home delivery service bringing ice cream and frozen foods directly to your door. The exclamation point in their name suggests excitement and freshness, which makes their appearance on the FDA recall table all the more troubling. In June 2024, Yellow products were listed for possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination stemming from the Totally Cool Incoworm manufacturing facility. Home delivery creates a particular concern because these products often sit in your freezer for extended periods, And Listeria thrives in cold temperatures where other bacteria die. For older adults managing busy lives or mobility challenges, home delivery services like Yellow seem like a perfect solution for maintaining independence and convenience. Discovering that these conveniently delivered products carry contamination risks undermines that sense of security. The FDA specifically flagged multiple Yellow products because the manufacturing facility couldn't guarantee safety across their production lines. When you're trusting a company to deliver food directly to your home, you expect even higher safety standards than grocery store brands, not contamination warnings. 11. Jeni's. At number 11, Jeni's represents the premium craft ice cream movement with innovative flavors, beautiful packaging, and price points that signal exceptional quality. Customers specifically choose Jeni's because they're willing to pay significantly more for what they believe is superior ingredients and production standards. That makes Jeni's appearance on the June 2024 FDA recall list for possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination particularly disappointing. This wasn't Jeni's first encounter with Listeria concerns either. The brand previously recalled products in 2015 due to Listeria contamination, suggesting recurring challenges with production safety despite their premium positioning and pricing. For health-conscious older adults who carefully select artisanal products and pay premium prices expecting superior safety, Jeni's repeated contamination issues feel like a fundamental betrayal of the brand promise. The manufacturing connection through Totally Cool Inc. means multiple Jeni's products appeared on the FDA warning table despite the brand's carefully cultivated image of small batch quality. Listeria contamination in premium ice cream is especially troubling because customers paying these prices specifically to avoid the shortcuts and risks associated with mass production. 10. Cumberland Farms. At number 10, Cumberland Farms brings the convenience store angle into our contamination concerns. For decades, Cumberland Farms has been a New England institution, providing gas, groceries, and their store brand products to communities throughout the region. Their ice cream represents the kind of everyday indulgence that working people grab on the way home, creating comfort through familiarity and affordability. In June 2024, Cumberland Farms products appeared on the FDA recall table for possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination through the Totally Cool Incorn facility connection. Store brand products already face skepticism from some consumers who question whether they match name brand quality, and this contamination concern seems to validate those worries. For older adults on fixed incomes who choose store brands specifically to stretch limited budgets, learning that these value options carry serious health risks creates an impossible dilemma between affordability and safety. The FDA documented Cumberland Farms products alongside premium brands, proving that contamination doesn't discriminate by price point or market positioning, that everyday convenience now comes with documented health warnings that turn a simple treat into a calculated risk. 9. The Frozen Farmer. At number 9, the Frozen Farmer markets itself as sustainably produced ice cream using rescued fruits and vegetables, appealing directly to environmentally conscious consumers who want their purchases to reflect their values. The brand tells a compelling story about reducing food waste and supporting sustainable agriculture, creating strong emotional connections with customers who care about these issues. Their appearance on the June 2024 FDA recall table for possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination through Totally Cool Incor's manufacturing particularly stings because consumers chose this brand specifically for its supposed commitment to quality and responsibility. For older adults who've watched environmental conditions deteriorate over their lifetimes and want to support better practices, the Frozen Farmer seemed like a way to enjoy ice cream while supporting positive change. Learning that sustainability marketing doesn't guarantee production safety undermines that careful decision-making. The FDA listing covered multiple Frozen Farmer products, meaning the contamination risk extended across their supposedly carefully produced line. When a brand builds its entire identity around doing things better and more responsibly, contamination recalls reveal that marketing narratives don't always match manufacturing realities. 8. Marco. At number 8, Marco Ice Cream represents regional specialty brands that serve specific communities with products rarely found in national chain stores. These regional producers often inspire fierce loyalty from customers who view them as local treasures worth seeking out and supporting. Marco's inclusion on the June 2024 FDA recall table for possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination affects that community trust in particularly painful ways. The manufacturing connection through Totally Cool, Inc. meant Marco products shared contamination risks with much larger commercial operations despite their regional specialty positioning. For older adults with long histories in their communities, regional brands like Marco carry memories and traditions that national chains can't replicate, making contamination warnings feel like losing a piece of local heritage. The FDA documented these concerns because Listeria poses serious risks regardless of whether a brand is nationally distributed or regionally cherished. When small regional producers can't maintain safety standards superior to mass market alternatives, it raises difficult questions about whether the premium prices and special trips to find these products actually deliver better quality or just better marketing. 7. Chipwich. At number 7, Chipwich brings us back to childhood summers with its iconic ice cream sandwiched between chocolate chip cookies. These individually wrapped treats became synonymous with ice cream trucks, beach boardwalks, and warm weather memories stretching back decades. That nostalgic power makes Chipwich's appearance on the June 2024 FDA recall table for possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination especially difficult to accept. The manufacturing facility connection through Totally Cool, Inc. meant these beloved treats carry the same contamination risks as less iconic products. For older adults, Chipwich might represent grandchildren's requests at the beach or personal memories from their own youth, creating emotional attachments that pure logic can't easily overcome. The FDA specifically flagged Chipwich products because Listeria contamination in individually wrapped items creates particular risks, as people often store these treats for extended periods and consume them in settings where medical help might not be immediately available. Those cheerful cookies and cream combinations now appear on official government warning lists, transforming summer nostalgia into legitimate health concerns. 6. Amafruits. Moving to number 6, Amafruits represents the fruit-based frozen dessert category that health-conscious consumers often choose as a supposedly lighter, more nutritious alternative to traditional ice cream. The brand emphasizes real fruit and natural ingredients, attracting customers who want frozen treats without excessive processing or artificial additives. Their appearance on the June 2024 FDA recall table for possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination through Totally Cool, Inc. manufacturing undermines that health-focused positioning entirely. For older adults, managing weight, blood sugar, or other health concerns who specifically select fruit-based options, believing they're making responsible choices, discovering contamination risks in these supposedly healthier alternatives feels particularly unfair. The FDA documented Amafruits products on the recall list because Listeria contamination affects fruit-based products just as seriously as cream-based ice creams, and the bacteria's ability to survive freezing means even products marketed as fresher or more natural aren't automatically safer. When you're already compromising on the full indulgence of traditional ice cream to choose fruit-based options, learning that those sacrifices don't guarantee better safety makes the entire careful selection process seem pointless. 5. Taharka. At number 5, Taharka Brothers Ice Cream represents Black-owned business success, community investment, and the kind of entrepreneurial achievement that many consumers actively want to support through their purchasing decisions. The Baltimore-based company builds strong community connections and delivers unique flavors that reflect diverse cultural influences. Their inclusion on the June 2024 FDA recall table for possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination through Totally Cool, Inc. affects not just individual consumers, but entire communities who take pride in supporting local Black-owned businesses. For older adults who've witnessed decades of economic inequality and specifically choose to support minority-owned enterprises, Taharka contamination warnings create conflict between health concerns and desire to continue supporting businesses that matter to their communities. The FDA listed multiple Taharka products because the manufacturing facility connection meant contamination risks extended across their carefully developed flavor offerings. When consumers are willing to seek out and pay premium prices for products from businesses they want to support, contamination issues force impossible choices between community loyalty and personal safety, particularly for older adults facing higher health risks from bacterial infections. 4. Dolcezza Gelato. At number 4, Dolcezza Gelato brings Italian artisanal traditions to American consumers, marketing sophistication and authentic European production methods. Gelato carries an upscale image that regular ice cream lacks, appealing to consumers who view themselves as having refined tastes and knowledge about food quality. Dolcezza's appearance on the June 2024 FDA recall table for possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination seems to contradict everything the gelato category represents about superior production standards. The manufacturing connection through Totally Cool Inc. revealed that even products marketed with Italian authenticity and artisanal care shared facilities and contamination risks with mass-produced American ice cream. For older adults who traveled to Italy during more affordable travel eras and want to recapture those experiences through authentic gelato, this contamination warning undermines both nostalgia and the belief that European-style production inherently means better quality. The FDA specifically documented Dolcezza products because Listeria doesn't respect marketing categories or premium positioning, affecting gelato exactly as severely as any other frozen dessert. When you're paying significantly more for gelato believing you're getting superior Italian production methods, learning about contamination reveals that authentic branding doesn't guarantee authentic safety. 3. La Salle. At number 3, La Salle ice cream represents institutional food service products found in schools, hospitals, and care facilities where our most vulnerable populations consume them daily. These aren't products most people buy at retail stores, but rather what gets served to children in cafeterias and elderly residents in nursing homes. La Salle's appearance on the June 2024 FDA recall table for possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination through Totally Cool Inc. creates particularly serious concerns because institutional settings serve populations least able to fight off serious bacterial infections. For older adults in assisted living or nursing facilities, La Salle ice cream might be one of few remaining pleasures in restricted diets, making contamination warnings especially cruel. The FDA documented these products because institutions often purchase in bulk and store products for extended periods, potentially extending exposure windows if contamination exists. Families trusting care facilities to provide safe food for aging parents face the horrible realization that even simple desserts might carry serious health risks. When the food service industry supplying our most vulnerable populations appears on contamination warning lists, it raises fundamental questions about whether institutional food safety standards adequately protect people who can't advocate for themselves. 2. Blue Bell coming in. At number 2, Blue Bell ice cream holds a special place in Southern hearts and freezers, with brand loyalty bordering on religious devotion in Texas and neighboring states. The company's slogan promises homemade taste in every carton, creating emotional connections spanning generations of family gatherings and celebrations. That makes Blue Bell's serious contamination history particularly devastating for loyal customers. In 2015, Blue Bell products were linked to a multi-state Listeria outbreak that resulted in deaths and serious illnesses across the country. The CDC investigated this outbreak extensively, and the U.S. Department of Justice announced criminal resolution related to Blue Bell's conduct during this tragedy. The company conducted massive recalls and temporarily ceased all production to address safety failures. For older adults who grew up with Blue Bell as a regional treasure and point of pride, learning that the brand's products cause deaths from Listeria contamination shattered decades of trust. The criminal prosecution revealed that company leadership knew about contamination risks and failed to adequately address them, prioritizing production and profits over consumer safety. While Blue Bell has since resumed operations with reportedly improved safety protocols, the severity of the 2015 outbreak and the company's documented failures make this brand impossible to recommend, especially for vulnerable older adults facing higher risks from Listeria infections. 1. Big Olaf. Taking the number 1 spot as the brand to avoid most urgently, Big Olaf Creamery ice cream became the center of a CDC-investigated multi-state Listeria outbreak in 2022. This wasn't just a precautionary recall based on potential contamination, but an actual outbreak where people across multiple states became seriously ill after consuming Big Olaf products. The CDC specifically identified Big Olaf ice cream as the source of infections that, hospitalize vulnerable individuals and threaten lives. The FDA posted recall notices tied to potential Listeria monocytogenes contamination, documenting the connection between Big Olaf products in this dangerous outbreak. For older adults who face the highest risks from Listeria infections, Big Olaf represents exactly the kind of product that can transform a simple dessert into a medical emergency. Listeria causes symptoms including fever, muscle aches, headache, confusion, loss of balance, and convulsions, with infections potentially spreading beyond the intestines to the bloodstream and nervous system. The bacteria poses particular dangers for adults over 65, whose immune systems can't mount the same defensive responses as younger people. The 2022 outbreak demonstrated that Big Olaf's production practices failed at the most fundamental level of food safety, allowing dangerous contamination to reach consumers across multiple states. When a brand becomes the documented source of a multi-state outbreak investigated by federal health authorities, it earns the distinction of most dangerous choice available. Transition to safer options. After walking through 15 brands connected to recalls and outbreaks, I know this feels overwhelming and maybe even a little hopeless. But here's the relief you've been waiting for. Not every ice cream brand cuts corners or exposes you to contamination risks. Some companies still believe that simple, clean ingredients and transparent production matter more than maximizing profits or following the latest food science trends. These next 5 brands prove that ice cream can be exactly what it should be: pure cream, real ingredients, and nothing that requires a chemistry degree to understand. Let's discover the brands that actually deserve space in your freezer. The 5 safer brands. 5. Alden's Organic. Starting our safer options at number 5, Alden's Organic delivers exactly what the name promises without tricks or compromises. The company states clearly that its products are certified organic to USDA National Organic Program standards, which means every ingredient meets strict federal requirements for organic production. This certification isn't marketing language but legal verification that ingredients come from farms avoiding synthetic pesticides, herbicides, and genetically modified organisms. For health-conscious older adults who've watched industrial agriculture transform American farming over their lifetimes, organic certification provides documented assurance that ice cream ingredients came from better sources. Retailer listings for Alden's Organic specifically highlight USDA organic certification and note that products contain no carrageenan, a controversial thickening agent that many consumers actively avoid. Alden's proves that commercial ice cream production can meet organic standards without sacrificing the creamy texture and satisfying flavors that make ice cream worth eating. The organic certification means independent third-party inspectors verify ingredient sources and production practices rather than just trusting company claims. For those managing digestive sensitivities or simply wanting to reduce chemical exposure from food, Alden's offers mainstream availability without the additives that plague conventional brands. This is ice cream you can feel genuinely good about serving to grandchildren, knowing the organic certification backing every ingredient claim. 4. Strauss Family Creamery. At number 4, Strauss Family Creamery represents generational farming traditions meeting modern organic standards in Northern California. The company describes its organic vanilla bean ice cream as made with all organic ingredients, including cream, milk, sugar, egg yolks, vanilla extract, and real vanilla bean. That complete transparency about every ingredient creates trust that mass-market brands can't match when they hide behind vague terminology and proprietary formulations. Strauss also produces an organic ice cream base using all organic cream, milk, sugar, and egg yolks, demonstrating that quality ingredients don't require lengthy additive lists or chemical intervention. For older adults who remember when local dairies were common and milk came from farms you could actually visit, Strauss embodies values that seem lost to industrial consolidation. The family farming background means Strauss maintains connections to land and animals that corporate operations abandoned decades ago in pursuit of efficiency and profit. Every organic ingredient undergoes certification, ensuring it meets USDA standards for production without synthetic chemicals, providing documented safety rather than marketing promises. The simplicity of their ingredient lists proves that ice cream needs nothing beyond cream, milk, eggs, sugar, and real flavoring to deliver satisfaction. When a company can list every single ingredient without embarrassment or confusion, it signals production practices worth supporting with your grocery dollars. 3. Häagen-Dazs. Claiming the number 3 spot, Häagen-Dazs might surprise you given its mass market presence in every grocery freezer section. However, this brand built its reputation on ingredient simplicity long before clean eating became trendy. Häagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream contains just 5 ingredients: cream, skim milk, sugar, egg yolk, and Madagascar vanilla extract. That's it. No stabilizers, no emulsifiers, no ingredients requiring advanced degrees to pronounce or understand. The brand's commitment to real vanilla from Madagascar, rather than artificial vanilla flavoring, demonstrates that even large-scale commercial production can prioritize authentic ingredients. For older adults who remember when Häagen-Dazs first appeared in American stores as a premium alternative to conventional ice cream, this brand has maintained those founding principles through decades of ownership changes and market pressures. The 5-ingredient formula appears consistently across mainstream product listings, proving this isn't just marketing language, but verifiable production practice. That ingredient simplicity explains why Häagen-Dazs costs more than conventional brands. But the premium reflects real cream and authentic vanilla rather than just clever packaging. When you can read an ingredient list and recognize every single item as actual food, rather than laboratory additives, it transforms ice cream from guilty pleasure to reasonable indulgence. Häagen-Dazs proves that commercial success and ingredient integrity aren't mutually exclusive when companies refuse to compromise founding principles. 2. 365 by Whole Foods Market. At number 2, 365 by Whole Foods Market offers Whole Foods quality at more accessible pricing through their private label products. The company's product page lists ingredients for 365 vanilla ice cream as milk, cream, cane sugar, non-fat dry milk, vanilla extract, and a stabilizer blend. While not quite as minimal as Häagen-Dazs, this ingredient list remains clean and transparent with every component serving clear purpose. The 365 organic vanilla bean variant takes it further with organic milk, cream, cane sugar, and organic stabilizers including locust bean gum and guar gum, which are plant-derived thickeners rather than synthetic chemicals. For health-conscious older adults who want organic options without the premium pricing of specialty brands, 365 delivers Whole Foods standards at everyday accessibility. The stabilizers used come from natural sources rather than laboratory synthesis, representing the kind of minimal processing that makes sense for commercial ice cream production. Whole Foods built its reputation on ingredient standards exceeding conventional grocery stores, and their 365 private label extends those principles to budget-conscious shoppers. The transparency about every ingredient, including specific stabilizers rather than hiding behind vague terminology, creates trust through complete disclosure. When a major retailer puts its name and reputation behind private label ice cream, the quality standards have to match the brand promises or risk undermining the entire store's credibility. 365 proves that you don't need specialty stores or premium pricing to access ice cream made with real ingredients and organic certification. 1. Alex Ice Cream. Taking the #1 spot as the absolute best ice cream choice available, Alex Ice Cream represents the pinnacle of ingredient integrity and production philosophy. The Regenerative Organic Certified program lists Alex Ice Cream on its official brands and products page, representing the highest possible agricultural certification. Regenerative Organic Certified goes beyond basic organic standards to require practices that actively improve soil health, treat animals humanely, and ensure farm worker fairness. This certification means Alex sources ingredients from farms making the land healthier rather than just avoiding the worst practices. The company describes its products as USDA Organic Certified on its official website, combining both organic verification and regenerative agriculture commitment. For older adults who've witnessed topsoil depletion, farm worker exploitation, and industrial agriculture's environmental damage over their lifetimes, Alex represents ice cream production aligned with values rather than just profit margins. The regenerative organic certification requires third-party verification of practices, including carbon sequestration, no synthetic inputs, and progressive animal welfare standards that represent genuine agriculture transformation. When you choose Alex, you're supporting farming practices that will leave land healthier for future generations, rather than extracting nutrients and degrading soil. The dual certification of both USDA Organic and Regenerative Organic Certified provides maximum assurance that every ingredient meets the highest possible production standards. This is ice cream you can serve, knowing that every spoonful supports the kind of agriculture our grandchildren will need. Alex proves that the best ice cream doesn't require compromises between personal enjoyment and planetary responsibility. There you have it, 15 ice cream brands connected to recalls and contamination concerns, plus 5 that actually deserve your trust and grocery budget. Before your next freezer aisle decision, remember that checking for organic certification, reading ingredient lists, and choosing brands with transparent production practices protects both your health and your peace of mind. If this information changed how you'll shop for ice cream, I'd appreciate you sharing this video with friends and family who deserve to know the truth about what's really in their freezers. Thanks for watching, and here's to safer, cleaner ice cream choices.